How can I help my teenage or young adult with anxiety? In this video, you'll hear from certified psychotherapist Marc Azoulay as he shares particular ways that you can support a female identifying young person with anxiety. Hey, it's Clint with Sandstone Care, where we help teens, young adults, and their families overcome challenges that come with substance use, addiction, and mental health conditions. All right, let's get right to it.
Yeah, I think in general, working with female clients, a lot of it is around body image. That seems to be the big thing that comes up when you're looking at those young adults and those teens. Again, social media, but it's even more than that. And I'm sure some parents are aware of this, but it's probably worth just saying on the air that you should look at some of the apps that are out there for young girls right now. Download some of them on your phone. You can see how they can edit photos. You can see how they can put filters on. You can see how they can start to beautify themselves. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be beautiful, right? And enjoying that. But I had a teenager client share with me something really interesting where she was using these apps and, enjoying playing with different makeup and different filters. But she's like, then there's this moment where the filter goes away and you just see, what I look like, right? You just see yourself in the camera. And by definition, that person is less attractive, right? Or that person is less touched up than what the filter does. So there's this kind of constant reinforcement of like, look at what you could be, right? Look at what you're not. And they're getting that impulse. They're getting that little piece of conditioning almost all the time. I don't think restricting it or taking it away is super helpful. I think it's more about listening, understanding, doing some education, joining them on some of these things, looking at some of these apps, trying to understand what it's like from their side. Sex and sexuality, that keeps hitting younger and younger and younger, in my opinion, right? I see that the idea of being attracted, being a sexual object, wanting to get a boyfriend, right? Or wanting to get a partner. I've seen, female identifying clients talk about that at 11, 12, even earlier. Whereas I don't remember it hitting that early for me. I remember that stuff coming online around like 14, 15, a little bit later. It seems like that kind of hypersexuality hits a lot earlier, and nobody is equipped to handle that at that age, right? The brain just isn't at a developed enough place.
So if I'm thinking about a parent and, you got a dad or a mom out there and they're saying, hey, I tell my daughter all the time that she's beautiful. Is that enough? Or when we're trying to combat this type of body issue, when we're trying to combat this ideology, this mentality around body image, how does a parent help with that?
I can go back to the same thing. I think it's listening. Look, I think telling your, daughter that she's beautiful is great, right? Definitely don't stop doing that. But I think what can happen is, especially if your kid doesn't feel beautiful, or maybe is getting bullied in school, or, getting cyberbullied or whatever for something, they're going to think that you're lying to them, right? Or if they don't feel it on the internal way, they're going to be like, why is my mother or father saying this to me? I don't feel this way. It's going to be very confusing. I think from a child and a baby, telling them, educating them, doing a real top-down solution, that's what you have to do, right? That's what you have to do as a parent. But as your kid gets older, they gain more autonomy, they gain more responsibility, and it becomes a slightly loosening of the reins and a slightly, leveling of the hierarchy. So instead of telling them something and ending the conversation, what you want to do is start a conversation by being curious about what's going on, being curious about the things that she's interested in, what fashion she likes. But I think it's specifically difficult for men to understand this. And I've, gone through this as a partner, dating women and being like, whoa, like the amount of time and energy and attention that goes into beauty and goes into body and fashion is like almost incomprehensible for me. Because of our place in society, we don't really have to do that. We work hard on other things for sure. We don't have to do any of that. So really trying to understand that world in from a non-judgmental place.
Yeah, there's two things that stuck out to me with what you said. One is opening a conversation, right? So not saying, hey, honey, you're beautiful. Bye, right? And also coming from a non-judgmental place. Because if you come into the conversation as, why are you doing this to your face? Why are you doing this? Then immediately within your facial expressions, your nonverbal cues, what you're signaling is that they're doing something wrong. And they're going to want to close up and not open up or talk to you if they're feeling attacked, right? So coming from just a curious, non-judgmental place would allow you to be able to actually have a dialogue and a conversation, to go a little bit deeper. If you want to learn more about treatment options for you, your teen, or young adult, then tell us about your situation on a confidential call using the number linked up in the description box below, or live chat with us at sandstonecare.com. We'll connect you with the treatment that you need, and if we're not the right fit, we'll get you where you need to go. Be well, and remember that change is possible.